It is another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the three films released on Friday the 13th of February 2009. And Friday the 13th, that's very interesting because guess what franchise we have that has a new movie coming out this week? It's a film that's supposedly a reboot of the original series in general. And, it stars a massive serial killer who goes ahead and kills innocent teenagers or just crazy teenagers in general. They're not really all that innocent. I'm, of course, talking about Freddy Krueger. Let's go ahead and see what's happening with him.
Did you know a young boy drowned here? He wasn't a very good swimmer. The counselors weren't paying attention. He should have been watched every minute. You see, he was my son. His name was Jason. And today is his birthday.
Of course, that's obviously not Freddy Krueger. That's Jason Voorhees. But don't worry, we'll get to Freddy next year when his remake comes out. But, first off, that chick who's, like, just crawling on her back, it's just like, get up and run. I mean, he's literally you'll be further away from him if you just got your ass up like normal people do instead of just doing the backwards crab walk. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're setting yourself up to get murdered by this guy. But, this is seen as a reimagining of the original Friday the 13th movies from back when the series was at its peak popularity. And it's the 12th installment of the series, and it follows a guy played by Jared Padalecki as he searches for his missing sister, played by Amanda Righetti, who is captured by Jason Voorhees, now played by Derek Mears. And you also have characters played by Aaron Yo, Danielle Panabaker, Juliana Hough, Travis Van Winkle, and let's talk about the reboot thing, because when I think of a reboot or a reimagining, I think of something that is kind of similar to the original movie, but doesn't do the same things that the original series did. Like, we'll have a much better example of that later in the year when Star Trek comes out. That's a movie where, J.J. Abrams took the concept of Star Trek and started it back from the beginning. Instead of just doing the same thing over and over again, he actually added something new to it and made it very unique and interesting. Friday the 13th is just the same goddamn movie we've seen over and over again. Like, no joke, this is literally the same movie. Like, if you really want to reboot this series and do something that's unique and different with it, I've always had kind of an idea of what to do with it, per se. Like, you should, like, it's weird. I had this idea of doing, like, a two-part film. Like, do a two-part film, have the first film centering around Jason's mother, because, as we know from the original film, Jason's mother is the original Jason Voorhees in that movie. Jason Voorhees doesn't come into play until the second movie, and then, of course, he doesn't get his hockey mask until, I think, the third or fourth movie, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I've seen these movies, but what I'm saying is start the movie off, do two movies. One movie focuses on Jason's mother being the killer, and then with the second film, have it set, like, I don't know, 30, 40 years after the first film, and then you have Jason come into play. I mean, do what they did with It a couple years ago, where they had it split into two movies. The first part took place in the 60s, I think it was the 60s or 70s. 60s or 70s? Okay, I was kind of right. The 1990s miniseries, it takes place in the 60s at first, and then it goes to the 90s. But the recent film I'm talking about takes place in the 80s, and It Chapter 2 takes place in 2017. So I was kind of right, but I was kind of wrong too. But like, Do something like that. Like, that's how you give this series a new look to it. Started off from from like the very beginning, you know, have it be about Jason's mother being upset that these counselors didn't watch her kid, and then she's the one that's going around killing people in the first movie, and then have it speed up the time, and then have Jason Voorhees come in here. Do something different. Do something that's a little bit that's different compared to what you did with the first film. Is with the original film in general. Don't just do the same thing over and over again, because that's what they did here, and it's literally the same movie over again. There's nothing about this movie that is different compared to the other movies, except the fact that it has newer, younger teenagers and new faker boobs, faker vaginas, you know, faker teenagers who want to have sex with each other all the time. It's like nothing really has changed with this movie. And this comes from the director of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was actually a pretty good horror remake. And at times, it's not bad. I mean, Derek Mears is doing a good job as Jason Voorhees in here. I mean, he actually does fit the role pretty well here. And yeah, it helps because he actually has more of a, you know, he can move faster than somebody like a Kane Hodder could, because he was doing that well into, I believe, his 50s, if I'm not mistaken. Now I got to check again. Yeah, he was doing that in his 50s because he was in Jason X, but they switched him out for Ken Kersinger with Freddy vs. Jason. But other than that, though, this movie really is pretty lame. I mean, it's literally the same movie as it was with the other films. There's nothing at all unique or different with it. It's literally the same thing, you know, a bunch of teenagers are coming off to this place that they should not go to, knowing that there's a killer out there, and instead of just, you know, being smart and getting the hell out of there and going to do something else, no, they're going to sit there and party, because who cares about the fact that there's a killer out there? I mean, nothing new or different is done in this movie. Oh, I'm sorry, there are some differences. The fact that we got to throw in some social commentary, you know, like there's a part in the movie where, you know, they got to get gas somewhere, and like, there's a black character in the movie when they have to go get gas, and they have to be, and Aaron Yo's character is basically just like, hey, you want to pay for gas? And he's just like, and the black guy's just like, dude, racism, man. It's just like, what is that? Why is that even in there? Like, there's your little bit of a social commentary they're trying to throw in there, because it's just like, what black person pays for gas? I'm really stretching to figure out why that was in there, because, man, there's nothing in this movie, man. There's nothing about it that works. There's nothing about it that's enjoyable. It's just the same schlocky stuff we've seen before, except the original Friday the 13th movies were kind of groundbreaking and new. It did something new and creative with it. Even the worst movies in the Friday the 13th movies were at least trying to do something unique with it. Jason Goes to Hell is a perfect example of what to do. Like, a crazy idea, but it could work if you had a good script to work with, but no, it just didn't work at all. And like Jason X worked because it was a guilty pleasure movie. It was a movie that they knew it was it was as stupid as it could be, but we're gonna have fun making it. And it was a so bad it's good type of movie. Even Freddy vs. Jason was fun. There's nothing fun about watching this movie, man. This is just a boring, unscary, unterrifying movie that just brief flashes of promise all throughout, but in the end result is not a good movie at all. So yeah, that's a hard skip on Friday the 13th, 2009. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, and that is Isla Fisher trying to make it as a leading actress in a movie. This is Confessions of a Shopaholic.
Rebecca has some confessions to make.
Do not open that closet!
This Valentine's Day, confess your passion.
Gucci boots! I saw him first. You're gonna let me look! There's a Sailor Burberry!
Confess your secrets.
Fluent in Finnish. Everyone pads their resume a little.
Confess it all.
I remember from your resume, you speak Finnish. There's someone very excited to meet you.
Onpa hauska tavata toinen suomalainen.
Men like you are the reason I left Finland. Hello?
Confessions of a Shopaholic. Rated P.
Okay, first of all, did they really use a catapult to launch the clothes out of the closet?
Do not open that closet!
Son of a bitch, they did. I mean, just, like, I get it. You want to make the clothes look like they're coming out of the closet, but why using a catapult? It just seems like way too much. For a movie like this, you don't need that at all. But anyway, Confessions of a Shopaholic. Struggling with her debilitating obsession with shopping and the sudden collapse of her income source, Rebecca Bloomwood, played by Isla Fisher, unintentionally lands a job writing for a financial magazine after a drunken letter-mailing mix-up. Ironically written about the consumer cautions of he Rebecca's innovative comparisons and unconventional metaphors for economics grant her critical acclaim, public success, and the admiration of her supportive boss, played by Hugh Dancy. But as she draws closer to her ultimate goal of writing for renowned fashion magazine Elite, she questions her true ambitions and must determine if overcoming her shopaholic condition will bring her real happiness. And I did not realize this. This was also a PG-rated romantic comedy. For some reason, that around this time, someone just said, PG-13 is the norm, but I've got a brilliant idea. Let's take these romantic comedies that are PG-13 and let's make them PG so we can bring the families in here, which none of these movies do not deserve to be seen by families. I mean, of all the ones that I've talked about, Bride Wars, New in Town, no question, this is definitely the best of the bunch. And even then, it's not that great of a movie. I mean, as much as I love Isla Fisher, and I feel like she could be a really good romantic comedic actress in a leading role, there's not really a whole lot given in the movie. There's a good idea here in general, especially with, this is something that I think a lot of people can really relate to, being the shopaholic and buying a lot of stuff and then realizing that, you've been is your decline and you have to figure out how you're going to live the rest of your life and have to basically get over the fact that you can't stop shopping. I mean, hell, I go through that all the time. I mean, I literally just bought something in the last couple of days, and it just isn't. It's something that I don't need, but you know what? I need it. I wanted it for my collection, but we'll save that for another time. But these are, of course, based off of a series of books as well, and this is directed by a guy who made a great romantic comedy in the past. This is P.J. Hogan, the man who did My Best Friend's Wedding with Julia Roberts and also Cameron Diaz, and also he did Muriel's Wedding. The last movie he directed, though, was the Peter Pan remake, the live-action one, not the Disney one, the Universal one, which was okay, I guess. I mean, he's a good director overall, and the film overall isn't terrible, but it just feels like it doesn't feel like it really gets the full composure of what it could really do. Like, there's not really a whole lot there to really elevate it to the next level, to give it that extra oomph that it needs to be a really good movie in general. I mean, it's not a bad movie overall. It's just a movie that I feel like there could have been so much more to work with here, especially since Isla Fisher is a really good actress. I think she's very funny. She's a beautiful woman, and she's got the potential to be a good leading actress in something. I mean, I saw another movie with her as the lead in it, Wedding Days, which also had kind of that same problem too. It's one where Jason Biggs, wants to get married so much that he marries this waiter played by Fisher, and she doesn't realize that she's kind of a little bit of a crazy person, so kind of like Heartbreak Kid, but yeah, there's definitely a potential for her as a leading actress here, and I felt like this movie could have done that in general, but not enough for me to say that this is one you want to check out. It's a film that I was kind of let down by it, per se. Not a bad movie, but definitely one that really could have been a whole lot better, especially with everything they had going for it. Mixed opinion, but I would say don't watch it, honestly. Like, I was really disappointed by it overall, so. With that said, let's go ahead and move on to our last film that we have here. Clive Owen and Naomi Watts starring in the thriller, The International.
Is the bank you trust using your money?
Send a message.
For murder.
Anyone that votes against this bank has ended up dead or disappeared.
If they can't get to you, they'll get to your family.
There has to be a way to bring down this bank.
The International. Rated R.
Because now you don't have to worry about just the banks screwing you over with your money. You don't have to worry about scammers taking money out of your bank account. No, you got to worry about banks trying to use your money to kill people. I mean, what else do I need to worry about with the banks in general? But, probably a lot of things. But this is a movie called The International, following an Interpol agent and American District Attorney, also played by Clive Owen and Naomi Watts, who jointly investigate corruption with the IBBC, a fictional merchant bank based in Luxembourg. It serves organized crime and corrupt governments as a banker and also as an arms broker. The bank's ruthless managers assassinate potential threats, including their own employees. Now, supposedly this was based off of a scandal from the 1980s involving the Bank of Credit and Commerce International, and it raises concerns about how global finances affects international policies across the world, which, on the one hand, could be a pretty good, interesting concept for a movie, but Not with a movie like this. No, 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 no. This movie takes the most blandest, most predictable route it could possibly go and turns it into a straightforward, generic action film. This is like another version of The Peacemaker or movies like The Pelican Brief. You know, these movies where you have to put two people in one situation where they have to uncover conspiracy and you know, they have somebody going after them and they got to stop them. And it's just like, yeah, this would be fine and all if the script was any damn good, and unfortunately, this is one of the most generic action scripts I've ever seen in my entire life. This thing is such a snooze fest of a movie, and this is not written by a schmuck either. This is written by Eric Warren Singer, who has written good movies over the course of his career. This is the guy that wrote American Hustle. This is the guy that wrote Only the Brave. One of his biggest movies is Top Gun Maverick. He wrote part of the script for that. This guy is not a schmuck filmmaker. This is somebody who has written good scripts and all. Has been nominated for an Oscar for writing a script. The director, Tom Twyker, is actually a decent director too. The last thing he did was Perfume, and he also did Cloud Atlas. Okay, maybe not the best overall, but you get the idea here. There is talent on this movie, not just in the acting, but also the writing and the director, but there's just nothing there in terms of the story. It's something we've seen done to that before so many times in the past, and it just really feels like there's just nothing there. Like, there's nothing about this movie that's engaging or interesting. You don't even buy the chemistry between Owen and Watts in particular, and if you can't buy their chemistry, then why the hell are we even in here in the first goddamn place? I guess maybe the action sequences are not terrible. They're okay at best. There's nothing really about them that makes them stand out or anything. But everything we've seen in this has been done much better in other movies. Like the National Treasure movies, where they have to uncover these conspiracies while also looking through these historical monuments and documents and all that stuff. That makes more sense than anything in this movie. And this is supposed to be taken seriously. And you don't take any of this seriously whatsoever. This is just a bad movie, a bland movie. Nothing about it that's interesting, nothing about it that's fun or enjoyable. It's a mess. It's a sloppy mess of a movie. This is the type of film that the studios look at and go, okay, we can't release this out in the summer because if they think that we believe in this, they're gonna clown all over us. So dump it in February where nobody's gonna put it out and nobody's gonna buy into it. And when it bombs, we could just say, well, Friday the 13th opened up on the same weekend. You can't expect us to beat that. And just like, yeah, that's your half-assed attempt to try to cover your own asses. And yeah, this movie wasn't making any bucks anytime soon. So yeah, a hard skip on the international. And so with all of that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. And the next time we meet, not a very interesting week for movies. Only 2 new releases coming out, including Tyler Perry's latest Madea movie, Madea Goes to Jail. And we also have the comedy Fired Up, which is a PG-13 raunchy comedy, which 9 times out of 10 is never a good sign whatsoever. But this one you might be pleasantly surprised by. At least I was. But we'll delve into that on the next episode coming up tomorrow, so don't miss that one. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to see more videos like this, please go ahead and hit the playlist on the next page. Check out the previous episode. And also don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, notification button, and the bell. That's where you get updates on when new videos come out, and we do post new videos here every day. So, with all that said, I'm off. I'll see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care.